Now, Ciklum is an outsourcing company, and they do all the things NOAH is not able to do. They are our technology partner, and we are very proud to present you Sam, who flew in from Kiev, and who tells you how Ciklum is solving your IT problems.
Okay, thank you. Right, well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sam Kingston. I'm the COO of Ciklum. And what I'd like to do is talk today about Ciklum, of course, but I'd like to bring a theme out, what we're seeing in the digital market and how we're responding and how we're going forward to meet the challenges and how our clients and non-clients are also doing that. So I'd like to take some general or one general theme that will come through. I would like to give you an understanding. The strap line at the top is a theme that I'm going to keep returning to time and time again in this presentation. It is no longer possible to undertake your strategy in the digital economy by simply projecting forward where you have come from. And successful organizations, and organizations that are our customers and worked with us, and I'll talk about what we do for them in a second, but they have actually understood it's all about where you are today, understanding where you are today, so you can then adapt and adopt to meet the challenges of tomorrow. If you don't know where you are today, then that is a problem. Okay, now, let me stand back for a second because I'm going to give examples of that. Let's talk about us as Ciklum and who we are and what we've done. We have been around for about 14 years, and we are an onshore, nearshore, and offshore application services provider. And we undertake the full spectrum on the sourcing scale of enabling a client to define their own strategy and we'll build out a team with them which they will control. That's at one end of the spectrum. And we go all the way through to the other end of the spectrum where we'll take control and we will deliver their software for them. We do not produce software for ourselves. We only produce it for the market on request. Our customers vary from startups, from all the way through then to large blue chip organizations who, though one thing they have in common is they clearly understand where they are today and where they're going tomorrow. And that theme comes out later in a couple of examples. Right, we have circa 2,500 developers. Where do we have those? We have those in Poland, we have them in Ukraine, Belarus, Pakistan, Spain. We have a number of delivery centers. Now, people say to me, Sam, we've heard all this before. We've heard absolutely horror stories about how people have gone to the point where they're doing remote development, and they've done that. And that is true. That is true. There have been instances where there have been difficulties in remote development. Our world today is changed and changing even more because you have to integrate the client. The client can't abdicate. The client has to stay with us. And what we get from the client are three things. We ask the client, do they understand where they are in terms of technology? Do they understand what they're trying to achieve in terms of their target markets? And what are they doing? So the first axis, the x-axis, actually is technology. And that's quite straightforward because people are very aware. So someone who is building an electronic key to open a car or a house or an office actually looks at the technology developments, not only in terms of pure focus on those technologies that enable that activity, but they also look at contactless, payless, cashless systems to enable that to happen. Very, very good at that, and we help somewhat with that. But what they also do is understand the ecosystem. So again, with my example of somebody who is building that electronic key, the insurance companies are very keen to give discounts if you have security, if you have locks, if you do that. They actually facilitate an eco change. And what we find is our successful clients actually understand who their end client is, who they sell to, how they move forward. And the last axis is that they may actually be a game changer for the emergency services. The emergency services can commit a faster response time. if in the form of an incident. So there's lots of things people can do. What we end up with then, as Ciklum, is we end up having conversations with clients, not just about the pure technology, but about what they're trying to achieve, and we're integrated into the point where the client feels comfortable to say, I need your help to do this. I need your help with elements of technology, with big data, with IoT. And actually in the Ukraine, and that's our flagship country, we have access to some very bright people, and there is a very vibrant startup ecosystem, which is clearly a microcosm of what we see here in Berlin, but nevertheless it's vibrant, it's working, and it's being funded, and it's working through. Right, where do our clients come from? Well, we don't have clients in Ukraine, we don't have clients in Eastern Europe, we have clients, international clients. They're all international, and where do we go? Well, what we actually went to a point where we were chosen, selected, targeted by George Soros. George Soros came to Ciklum and made the point that as far as George Soros was concerned, we were an organization that they would like to talk to. That was facilitated by a guy who's sitting in the audience today, but that facilitation drove a relationship where Soros took a major share in us as an organization, and they will continue to do so. There is a very large appetite within Eastern Europe now for bringing more and more technologies and vibrant technologies and funding those on a global scale. And we heard this morning that it would be great if that funding could come from European providers. What we're seeing is the Americans are very active. We're also seeing the Eastern Europeans, the Russians, also very active. Now, right, what do we then see, and how do we, as an organization, how do we respond? What is our USP? What is our way of dealing with all of these challenges that we see in the market? And why is it George Soros invested in us? Well, he invested because he saw our ability is to scale either at one end to the client requirements, but actually enable that scaling not to lose the customization. Because when you scale, what you tend to do is you tend to offer vanilla. You tend to say to people, I can build you this, but you have to compromise. Now, everything is a balance. And what we tend to do is we sit and we have that conversation about where clients are today and where and how they wish to scale and where they go forward. What we end up doing then is we have the conversation and we work to the point where we as an organization talk about disruptive and disruptions that you see here. And what I'd like to do is to finish today on the point where these are the things that we see happening in our world. These are the areas that we see we have to look at and understand. These are the areas that someone has to say, today I understand the impact of those on my tomorrow. Businesses have to do that. So what I would say, in summary, is that what we are as an organization and what we're seeing from our clients in particular, and our clients, the large blue chip organizations that have adopted disruptive technologies and actually moving forward, and there is a major global travel company who actually is doing some very smart things, turning things around and working through, recognizing all of those elements and recognizing the importance of data. So, in summary then, today we sit in Eastern European, as Eastern Europeans, we sit with a network of delivery centers, and those delivery centers take us to the point where we are recognizing and moving forward for tomorrow because we know where we are today. And that's my message. Organizations who are successful do that. And the ecosystem enables you to do that. Right, I'll stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
That was quick.